Jesus' face is not the end of the story. There is more to who you are than today reveals. You are not made for lowly heights, so raise the bar and be better. Explore new frontiers. I am cheering, waiting on the other side. Keep advancing. God has given all you need. There are people following the path you lead. Yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah. Every day is just a gift to become a better you. Now is where your pages begin. No stopping now, no stopping. Keep moving, no stopping. Keep moving, no stopping. Keep moving, no stopping now. Growth is a guarantee that tomorrow's great. Hope you hear me. Don't you drown in the glory of yesterdays. Only if you can strive to be better, then you have a chance to become the best of you. Yeah, I am cheering, waiting on the other side. Keep advancing. God has given all you need. There are people following the path you lead. Yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah. Every day is just a gift to become a better you. Now is where your pages begin. No stopping now, no stopping. Keep moving, yeah. No stopping, no stopping. Keep moving, yeah. No stopping, no stopping. Keep moving, yeah. No stopping now, yeah.
Hello, my name is Bisi, Akande, and I just want to add value to you. Thank you, my friends. Welcome to your leadership community, where we learn, we grow, we change, and of course, we add value and make a difference to everyone in our space. I'd like to say thank you once again for joining us. It's such an exciting moment. You know, I look forward to the time that we spend together on a regular basis. I really thank you for all your comments. I thank you for all your shares. I thank you for the value that together we are adding to your leadership community, the value that we are adding together to your space, to the society, and to the world at large. See, we cannot change the world at a time, but we all can change the world one person at a time. And the way we do that is to change ourselves. You know, when we change through learning and growing, then we can change others. This is your leadership community once again. And today I want to talk about, you know, what I call leader core. 10 core qualities for successful leadership. I've been privileged to take on one leadership role or the other. In fact, it's getting bigger and bigger. You know, over the last 20 years of my leadership, I've been learning and I've been growing and I've been documenting some of the things that I've learned. And I decided to try to sieve out the qualities that I see in leaders, myself and others, the qualities that I've seen that really, really matter. So these are not all the qualities for successful leadership. This is what I just call the core. These are the 10 core for me. And I believe that there's going to be a lot of value added to you, even as we share these 10 core qualities of successful leadership. As you know, leadership is influence. So successful leadership actually is successful in a way that they can produce the kind of result that we want to produce in life. We influence people every day, every one of us. You know, I've shared with you on this platform before about the different stages of influence. Stage 1 is the position, stage 2 is likability, stage 3 is respect, and then there's production. Production is where the result happens. That talks about what you do for the people. You see, as a leader, you must be doing things for the people. So what helps you as a leader? To be able to do the things that you want to do, to produce the result that you need to produce. And the result of a leader is to raise other leaders. What helps you is your ability to influence those people so that they can produce at their optimum capacity. Now, what are these 10 core qualities of successful leadership? And I'll go ahead and they are not in any particular order. I'm just going to give you the 10. None is better than the other. None is stronger. They're just 10 qualities for successful leadership. Number 1 is faith. Now, faith is the foundation of all we can be, all we can become, all we can do, and what we can have. Faith is the assurance that the things that were promised, the things that were revealed, can actually come to pass. Faith is critical. So it's not whether you have faith or you don't have faith, it's whether you are activating the faith that you have. You see, faith is when you exhibit a belief in the future that you see. Faith is when you believe in a future in spite of the despair that you see. You know, a great preacher in the 19th century, early part of it, went to the slum. He was called to the slums, and in the slums he was meeting with people, and these were poor people, but he believed in them, and because he believed in them, they began to do things that were different. They began to see prosperity in the midst of poverty, and then eventually that became the reality of their life. Because you see, faith eventually determines the reality of our future. So you've got to be able to, you see, Dr. Paul Shilley calls it knowing of what is unseen, the knowing of what is unseen. So if you are a person of faith as a leader, you will know certain things that are unseen. You see, so leaders who make a difference will always hold on to a belief that something would happen, even when every other dynamics, when the fact says it won't happen, they hold on to that belief that it will happen. Faith is what enables you to live life beyond yourself. And that's what leaders do. Leaders don't just accomplish things for themselves. Leaders accomplish things for others. And you know, accomplishment is faith in action. When we put faith in action, then we get into accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish. Now let me share 3 dimensions of faith. Number 1 is faith in God, faith in the Creator. We call him God, grand overall designer. Faith in the Creator. The Creator created us and he put us here, and in putting us here, he had a purpose, he had a reason, and there are certain things that he has put in us. So he shows us that we can be this, we can do more, we can have more. He shows us those things, and we've got to have faith in what the Creator has shown us, what he has revealed to us. So we must have faith. There is a force, there is a power, there is a being that makes us human beings. We've got to have that faith in that being, knowing that whatever he wants to accomplish will be accomplished. He actually guarantees the future. Then we've got to have faith in other people. And you see, what I've come to understand is that we've got to learn how to trust people up front. See, because if you believe in people, they eventually step up to authenticate or to validate your belief in them. They act in a manner that agrees with your belief in them. See, but on the contrary, if you don't believe in people, what happens is that they again will step up or step down, if you like, and they will validate your disbelief, your doubt in them. So doubting people doesn't give us any advantage. That's why I say trust people up front. Give them the benefit of the doubt as they say to it. See, people will perform to the extent that we believe in them. Most often when we meet people, we always want to kind of be suspicious at the first. But you know what? Everyone can be great. Everyone can be good. And that's the mindset that we should carry as leaders. That everyone can produce the kind of result that we want. They might not produce the result your way because they are not you, but they can produce results. They have capacities that you don't know about. You know? And that's why someone said, don't tell people what to do. Just tell them what you want and let them surprise you with the result that they bring. So trust people. The other dimension of faith is faith in yourself. We've got to believe ourselves. See, learning how to believe yourself will open up endless possibilities in your life. You've got to believe yourself. Many times, we get ourselves on this trajectory of self-doubt. And the more you doubt yourself, the more you reduce your capacity to achieve what you want to achieve. When you set goals for yourself, you've got to believe that these goals can make it. Successful leaders always have faith in themselves. They may not have faith in their gifts, they may not have faith in anything around them, but they have faith in themselves. They just believe that things can happen. So believe in your future, believe in your dream, believe in your tomorrow, believe that these things can happen. So how do you develop this unshakable faith in yourself? Number one, you have to win in your mind first. See, life is an inside-out thing. You've got to be able to win in your mind. See, doubt and faith exist in your mind. Both of them are there. So whichever you allow, whichever you express will now take the rule over your life. Both of them. So you've got to win in your mind first. So look in your mind and agree with yourself that, look, I'm going to do this and I'll be able to do this. You see, you can do what you want to do if you will do it. Let me take that again. You can do what you want to do if you will do it. You've got to be able to win in your mind first. Number two, uncover the cause of temporary disbelief. If you have doubt, if you have self-doubt, why do you have self-doubt? What's the reason? Sometimes it might be because of the way you see yourself, your self-esteem. So you need to build your self-esteem. Sometimes it might be because you are looking at other people's gifts and validating other people's goals or elevating other people's gifts against your gifts. So why this doubt? Why do you self-doubt? Why do you doubt yourself? Because self-doubt is going to sabotage what you are doing. Number three, learn to stay enthusiastic. Enthusiasm, I call it, is being full of God, full of life, full of love, full of all that you can and could be. Be enthusiastic. See life as fun. See life as enjoyable. See life as good. See life, even the hard, is all part of what makes for a great future for you and for me. Of course, you've got to also learn to invert your thinking. What if I fail? That's the wrong thinking. Why not reverse it and say, what if I succeed? Think about the feeling of success more than you think about the feeling of failure. Think about how life would be if you and your team, if you and the people you lead are able to get to the promised land, as it were. Think about the feeling. You see, when you consume yourself or you allow yourself to be consumed with the feeling of how things are going to be when you get to the destination, it becomes easier for you to believe in that destination. And of course, focus on the positive. That's also a very great support system for believing in yourself, killing your self-doubt. Focus on the positive. What are the things that could be, or what are the things that you want to be? Rather than looking at what could happen that is negative, why don't you focus on the things that are positive, that are most likely going to happen? And of course, as you travel the journey by faith, understand that failure might happen, and failure doesn't mean that you failed. It's actually a reminder that success is along your path, that success is about to show up. So see failure as a reminder to you of the things that could happen. Of course, set the right expectation for yourself. That could also help you to develop a belief system in you that is helpful to the achievement of your success as a leader. Let me close this part on the note that no is not an option. I always say that no actually means next option. Next option. So if one thing doesn't work, it's not because it didn't work or it was not meant to work. It probably didn't have the right circumstance or environment to work. So what do? Get the next option. Sometimes you might try things 5 times, 10 times. You might even try things 100 times before it works, but that's okay. And the 100 times you tried it are actually indication that there are 100 different ways to do it. One didn't work, but the other one works. So you just keep on doing it. Learn how never to accept no for an answer. That's one of the things that I had to build as a young leader in my life. Several years ago, my mentor was always putting a push on me. When I go out and I come back and I tell him that didn't accept, he would say, no, they've got to accept, go again. Sometimes I go some 5, 6, and then people would say things like, well, didn't you get tired of coming? I said, well, somebody is pushing me not to get tired of coming. So I keep going. And at the end of the day, especially when I'm bargaining to buy something, then we're into building projects. And when I'm bargaining for those, I just keep going and keep going. And eventually, it might just be a couple of very little amount of money. But we eventually say, okay, you've been coming and you've been coming and you've been coming. Please, can we just agree with you? See, when you consistently refuse no for an answer, yes will show up eventually. That's how it works. Now, the second quality I want to share with you is the quality of accountability. See, successful leaders are accountable for their action. See, accountability is you being in a place where you can be held responsible for your actions or your inactions. And accountability is actually a sign that we are living an authentic life. It's that vulnerability that allows someone to enter into your space and ask you questions on the things that you are doing. Every leader will have to give account on themselves. You will give account of your time. You will give account of your gifts and your talents. You will give account of your resources. And to make that easy, you see, we've got to realize that we are stewards. We are not owners. People think that they own things. You see, you've got to quit the mindset of owning things. The resources, the way you have been resourced for life, it's not for you. That's why some of the most beautiful things that you've been given are not even available for you to touch or to see. There's so much going on your inside right now that you don't even know how it works. You can't see your heart, you can't see your lungs, so much that has been given to you. And I tell people, without the aid of a mirror, you can't even see your smile. So if you are beautiful, you won't even be able to know except they get a mirror, because you can't see your face. So why would God, the Creator, give you a beautiful face if you can't see it, and somebody else has to tell you how you look? I like that program on TV that talks about how do I look. Sometimes you need to ask the question, how do I look? So it tells me that the good things that have been given to me are not mine. They are mine. They are in my custody, but they are not mine. So I have rid myself of this mentality of ownership, and that's why I can be accountable. See, as long as you think you own it, then you don't need to be accountable. It's my life, so I can do what I want to do with it. It's my money, so I can spend it the way I like. But the truth is, it's not all yours. You are just a steward of the resources. You have been resourced, and you have been given resources not for yourself, but so that you can apply those resources for the entire mankind. So quit thinking like you own the things with you. Now, accountability requires humility. It takes a humble person to be able to open up themselves and allow others in. See, failure could happen, but when it does, don't let it stop you. In the process of accountability, failure could be seen. Somebody could reveal your failure to you. Somebody could show you your blind spots, the places that you can't see that only others can see. Somebody could show you those blind spots. But when you see it, do not allow it stop you. Rather, let it be a point of activation for something new in your life. In any situation, the only thing you really can control is yourself. So go ahead and take control of yourself. Be open to others and show accountability. Now, how do we demonstrate accountability? Number one, you've got to be open and authentic. Be open and authentic. Number two, ask for help where needed. See, nobody ever went to jail for asking for help. There's no human being on the face of the earth. Anyway, there's no leader. We don't have all the answers. We don't know everything. So everyone needs help. And be humble enough to ask for help when it is needed. And number three, focus on the future state. Now, this is important because where we are going is more important than where we are. So if you want to be accountable, then you need to be looking at the future state. You need to be looking at where you are going and knowing that I need this accountability to take me to where I am going. Now, the third quality I want to share with us is the quality of responsibility. Ties in with accountability. But you see, leadership is responsibility. That's the truth. That's what it is. Always is a responsibility. So whenever people want to come into leadership, they think about the title, they think about the position, they think about the perks of leadership, but they don't remember that leadership actually is responsibility. It's a responsibility to lead a people from a place point A to point B, to lead the people from where they are to where they are supposed to influence people to achieve the results that need to be achieved. It's a responsibility. See, when you become a leader, the day you become a leader over people, they begin to look up to you. They want to hear from you. You set direction. You've got to be ready to map out the plan, create the strategy, so many things. So leadership is a responsibility. So to be a leader, you've got to take responsibility for the responsibility that has been trusted on you. Let me put it that way. So you've got to take that responsibility. Being a leader requires that you be responsible, and that means you have something within your power that you need to do. So you've got to be responsible to your creator, because he gave you the first of all, he gave you the life, he brought you in here, he gave you the purpose, so you are responsible to him. But you're also responsible to yourself. You are responsible to grow yourself. You are responsible to get better so that you can add better value. You see, the value we add in the lives of people, the value we add to our work, will be determined by the value that we have added to ourselves. So you are responsible for yourself first. No one can be responsible for you. See, there are things that people can do for you, but there are things that no one can do for you. I can't read for you. I can't read for you. That's basic. I can't see for you. I can't see visions for you. You've got to see. You've got to be responsible for your work, for your duty. You've got to be responsible. Of course, you've got to be responsible to family. That's very important. Every leader must understand that family comes first. Family is important. Family is critical. So you've got to be responsible to family. Leave an example that is worth following for your family. Now you've got to be responsible to your team, and that's to help them grow and to help them lead better. See, when we lead people, followers, we increase, we add. But when we lead leaders, we multiply. That's the key or the core of a leader's responsibility. Raising other leaders. So every time you come into a new leadership role, begin to think of how you can raise other leaders, bring others along. You've heard it said that if you want to go fast, you can go alone, but if you want to go far, you have to go with others. That's very important. Many people will say that it's lonely at the top. John Maxwell will say it's because you are doing something wrong. If you are not doing something wrong, if you are carrying some people along with you, it's not lonely at the top. The next quality is the quality of determination, personal determination. Determination is that strength that carries you through the path of success, even in the midst of obstacles. Many times, the tasks that we are given, if they are really worthwhile tasks, they are going to be uphill tasks, and the higher you need to climb, the steeper it gets. The greater the task, the better the task, the more valuable the task, the steeper the climb gets. If it is worthwhile, really worthwhile, then it's going to be an uphill task. And in every uphill task requires the determination. See, it's easy to start. The tougher part is to keep going. That's why a lot of time people don't eventually achieve what they want to achieve, because they fail, because they drop the ball. Why do they drop the ball? They drop the ball simply because they quit. They just stop doing it. And that's why we've got to learn how to build determination in ourselves. Every leader needs to learn how to build determination in themselves. I try to do that by telling myself for a period of time I'm going to skip some meal. For example, I'm in a challenge right now for 70 days not to eat anything that has a mother or has a face. That's the challenge I'm in. And it's a 70-day challenge. So you can imagine 70 days without those lovely chicken that I love so much and no beef, no 70 days. And I'm not used to it. I've never done that before. So every year I try to push myself to do something that I've never done before, and then try to build determination. No one asks me to do it. I am not pressed to do it. I'm not pushed to do it. But I wanted to do it so that I could build some determination. So you've got to create some scenarios around you that helps you to build your determination. See, determination is what overturns impossibility. If anyone tells you something is impossible, that's because that thing has not met a person who is determined. Impossibilities will always bow at the feet of a determined leader. See, in 1996, there was an encounter. The football team in my nation, Nigeria, was playing against Brazil. And Brazil That was during the Atlanta Olympics. Brazil was meant to overrun them because, of course, they were bigger, they were better. Everybody favored them more than these guys. And during the match, it was evident that they were going to win. But these young men were just determined. And for whatever reason, at the end of the day, they came out. By the second half, Brazil had scored 3 goals against them. It was 1. But somehow they were able to score. And by the time it was over, it was 4 goals to 3 against Brazil. They favored, they didn't get it. And that's not because these guys were better, really. It was just because they were determined that they wanted to bring the medal back home to us. And we were so glad. They became celebrated while they were determined to make those things happen. So determination keeps you moving forward. Determination will bring transformative growth to your organization. Determination will help you to stay focused on your goals and on your dreams. Determination is that golden pen with which you and I can rewrite destiny. So build determination into your system. It will help you as a leader to succeed in your leadership. I don't know what number now, but the next one is compassion. Compassion. I love this one. I love this one because leaders need to be empathetic. You see, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. That's really deep for me. People don't know how much they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So you've got to be a compassionate leader, one that is able to feel what people feel, one that is able to see what people see, one that is able to get to where people are, one that is able to meet them where they are. See, you've got to be compassionate. You've got to have a heart for people. All successful leaders usually show empathy for people, and that's why they put people first. You see, most of the time, you have a lot of people who want to put profit projects before people. But you've got to learn how to put people first if you want to be a successful leader. See, people make things happen. If you put them first, they will go any length to make things happen with you and for you. So look out for others. Look out for others. And leave none out. If you have a team of 10, let everybody go along. See, it's better if you carry the entire team along than leave some behind. So let's do that. To be a compassionate person, you've got to learn how to love people unconditionally. You see, John Maxwell now shares. He says his father told him 3 things that would get him successful. See, one of them was love people unconditionally. You see, when your love has a condition, then it's no longer love. Love people unconditionally. If your love has a reason, it is not real. You can't have a reason for loving anyone. There are so many unlovable people out there, but you're not loving them because they are lovable. You are loving them because you have made a decision to be a person of value that adds value to others. So you just love them. See, the service you give to people, how you treat people will come from how you love them. That's the truth. And if you love them, you give them the feeling that you give them a great feeling. And you see, people may not remember what you did. They may not even remember what you said, but they will always remember how you make them feel. If you make them feel good, they will always want to be around you as a person. So learn to show compassion. It helps you to open doors of opportunity for someone else. Let's learn to practice acts of kindness. What can you do today to add value to someone's life? What can you do today to make somebody else's life better? That's what leaders do. Leaders are thinking every time on how they can help their people succeed. Is there a training they need to go? Do they need coaching? Do you want to get a coach for them? Do you want to talk to somebody on their behalf? Do they need a time with you? Do they need to interact with some people? Do you need to bring them to the stage where you are? Do you need to kind of compliment them? But compassion says it's you, not just doing unto others as you want done to you. It's you doing unto others as they want done to them. In other words, you are trying to add value to people by understanding what they value. Very critical. You understand what they value, so you want to add value to them. Of course, compassionate people are encouragers. They know how to speak words of encouragement, words that lift others. You see, just like I did say in believing in people, when you believe in people, that's what you do. You encourage them by speaking words of encouragement. You see, the more you lift people up by your words of encouragement, the better they perform. It increases your productivity. It increases the success of the organization. If your people are succeeding, then you are succeeding. That's why leading leaders multiplies. It helps you multiply. When your people are succeeding, then you are succeeding. So what do? If you can concentrate not on your own success, but on how to make them succeed. If you can concentrate on how to help them succeed, you would be actually increasing the trajectory of the success of your organization. You know the story in the Bible concerning the Good Samaritan. Everyone came and they passed by, but one man stood by to help that man. And today we read about him, we talk about him, we celebrate him. Why? Because of that one singular act that he did. I'm very sure that he may not have even known that will be recorded in a book that will be read for years and years and years. He didn't know that his story will be told. Like I'm telling you today, though he had died over 2,000 years ago, but he never knew that story. I don't know his name, but I know his story, and his story inspires us. So don't look the other way. Don't pass the other way. Help as many that you can help to succeed. Then we're going to talk about my next quality, and that is honesty. I love this one. No, it's not better than others, but I just love this one. Honesty. See, honesty is the acid test that measures the sincerity of leaders. You know, I always say people are not looking for perfect, they are looking for authentic. Authentic leaders are honest. When they drop the ball, they accept the fact that they dropped the ball. When they miss it, they accept. They're not trying to look good, they are only trying to get better. See, many times leaders want to look good, and that's why we practice dishonesty, because we are trying hard to look good, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to look good. See, when you don't tell the truth, you work harder to remember what you said the last time. But when you tell the truth, you don't need to remember what you said, because every time you say it, it's going to match. We need honest leader. Someone said honesty is the best policy, but I say that's not the best policy, that's the only policy. Honesty is the only policy. It comes at the top of the list for authenticity. If you're going to be an authentic leader, then you have to be an honest leader. Now, to lead people, they must believe in you. And for them to believe in you, they must trust you. If they are going to trust you, then honesty is demanded. Let me share some qualities of honest leaders. Honest people, they say yes when they mean yes. In other words, their work and their talk match. To be an honest leader, you've got to be able to say what you mean and follow through on it. When you say yes, it's got to be yes. Let your words match your talk. Integrity demands that a leader's life and a leader's words must agree. They walk and they talk. They must agree. You know? Now, honest leaders are an example to others. They lead by example. So, honest leaders don't tell you to go when they are not willing to go. And they won't tell you to go to a place they will not go or they've not been. Honest leaders lead by example. To increase your honesty quotient, as it were, you've got to also be the leader that follows your conviction. By the way, what are your values? What do you stand for? You've heard it. If you stand for nothing, you fall for anything. So you've got to know what your values are. What do you believe? What are your values? What do you believe? What is it that will keep you going even when the road is rough? That is your value. Now let's move on to the next one, and that is diligence. Diligence is the platform for excellence, and leaders who will be successful must practice excellence. Diligence is paying attention to detail. Diligence is being able to see the little stuff. Diligence is being able to sweat yourself even for the little stuff, making those things count, making a difference in the little place. A diligent person doesn't just work hard, he works smart at the same time. He understands so many dynamics. You've got to pay attention to diligence, because you see, lack of diligence is what gets leaders detained in life. If you miss out some things, you have to go back and do them again, and that gets you detained in life. Diligence is a spirit. Diligence is a choice that we need to make. A choice that we are going to rise, become triumphant against the odds. Diligence is a seed that we sow, and when you keep sowing it, it keeps growing to a great harvest. Diligence is a demand that your people want from you. Diligence is what drives productivity. It is what increases our result. Diligence will affect our thinking and the way we see things. Diligence will reshape our life and affect the actions that we take and the way we take our action. Always remember that it's not just about what you do, it's more about how you do the things you do. If you do the things you do well by being diligent, then the places where you do them continues to get better and better. You come into the company of other leaders who are also excellent, because like attracts like. The kind of people you would eventually serve as a leader will be dependent on your quality of being diligent. Let me move on to the next one, and that is the quality of creativity. Creativity is one of God's great attributes. If you understand how the world was, of course the world was created, that's creativity. But if you understand that after the world was created, there was darkness. And so you needed to bring something into darkness that will make darkness or make the world different. And that's what creativity does. Creativity makes change happen. It makes change happen. See, as a creativity expert, I know that creativity is very critical. In fact, it's one of the, that's why I had to go and train to be a creativity expert, because it's highly rated in the place of work today. One of the greatest skills, one of the highest skills, one of the top 10 skills that we need in our world today is creativity. And that's because disruptions are taking place very fast. So it takes a creative person to stay on top of their game. It takes a creative person to have an edge in their game. And creativity is that ability to bring into existence ideas, solutions, products, to be able to solve problems in a way that adds value to people. So leaders must be creative. Number one, creative in their thinking. See, the way we think needs to be, we need to begin to put ourselves into a creative thinking by a creative mindset. It's important that we are creative as leaders. I mean, creative in our thinking as leaders. Leaders are creative in decision making. You see, you can't keep making your decisions the same way all the time. The decisions you want to make, you have to be creative about them, because you see, the dynamics keeps changing. It looks like we live in a world of disruption, and it just keeps getting disrupted. Things happen. Somebody comes up with something somewhere, and you need to take a decision, or there's a problem, so you need to take it. You've got to be creative in your decision-making process. You've got to be creative in your problem-solving system. Now, a good leader must be able to see what others cannot see. Must be able to act in a manner that others cannot act, and that takes creativity. A creative leader always looks for how they can move the bar and set new records for whatever it is that they are doing. Anyone can be creative. I know that. That's a fact. Always will be. Anyone can be creative, because creativity is on the inside of each one of us. We just need to bring it out. And there are two things that helps to activate creativity. Number one is curiosity. Now, I know that people say curiosity kills the cat, but you know the truth is that I'm not a cat, so I'm not afraid of being curious. Being curious, wanting to know more, is it helps your creativity. You just want to know more. So you are looking into things. You are trying to look at things differently. You are looking at more from the things that you are looking at. You look at those things in a different way. And because you are curious, you begin to see things that others cannot see. That's one. Another thing that helps creativity is your discontent for the way things are. See, I don't like it when I see people who are contented about things. You see, if you maintain the status quo, you end up becoming a statue. So you've got to be sure that you are getting discontent. You see, it's good to be contented in life, but being satisfied with your comfort zone makes your comfort zone eventually uncomfortable. Can you imagine if all the world ever stopped at doing was fan? Where would the air conditioning have come? Even with the air conditioning, there would be several progression. People are just creative. If we stopped at just producing a phone and we never went smart with the phone, what would we be doing? Right now, you can watch this on your phone. You can watch TV on your phone. If we just stopped at having our VHS recorders that we come and play in there, you can't get your movies on the go. Some people created that. Now you have the Netflix, and you have so many things happening. So you've got to be creative as a leader. You've got to break that status quo and see how you can improve on every. I always say this because I love it. It's not being perfect that matters. It's improvement that matters. That's what we're looking for. So how can you improve today what you did yesterday? It takes creativity. That will aid your productivity. It will also aid your profitability. Of course, it will also keep you relevant as a leader. And then we're going to be talking about discipline. Discipline. Now, because leadership is a responsibility, it requires discipline. If a leader can't rule themselves, then they can't rule or lead others. The most difficult person to lead is myself. And I know that. It's easy to tell people what to do and sometimes get them to do it. But it's tough for me to do the things that I said I'll do for myself. Now, for me to do the things I said I'll do for myself, which is what makes me an exemplary leader, what do I need? I need to be disciplined. That ability to follow the rules that you have set is critical to the growth of your organization. See, we can't go far as leaders if we lack the discipline to stay on course. And I see today a lot of people just lack discipline. So they jump from one thing to the other. They jump from one thing to the other. A lot of times when what you want is about to be delivered, that's when you jump out, because there's something that keeps you jumping. It's discipline to stay the course is not there. So how do I find out my discipline rating? I just ask you a couple of questions. Number one, are you late for appointments? It's a sign that discipline is not in place in your life. If you are regularly late for appointments, because you see, you need to take control of that. You need to be able to respect your time and respect the time of others, and that's what helps you to stay disciplined. Whether you have an apology for it or not doesn't really matter. You've got to stay disciplined on that. Do you overreact and lack self-control? See, in life, when things happen, people want to react, but the thing is that great people, they respond. They don't react. And sometimes people just overreact, so they lose their cool. They lose their emotional intelligence. And the truth is that if you are not emotionally intelligent, you are not intelligent. Because it takes emotional intelligence to bring your intelligence to the table and utilize it for people. When you lack emotional intelligence, you actually are not intelligent. Do you overreact? Do you exaggerate, or do you overburden yourself or burden others for little matters? It's a sign that you are not able to discipline yourself to look away at certain things. Do you claim the glory for yourself, for their compliments, or do you also acknowledge the effort of others? Ask yourself that question. And then we move on. I think I have just two more now to go, or one more to go rather. Commitment. Well, I don't know why commitment is coming last, but I think commitment is critical. If you are not committed to your growth, probably you wouldn't be listening to this last point. You probably would have stopped listening. It's not because the content is not good. Sometimes it's just because we have not made up our mind to be committed to the very end. So you've got to be committed. So I want to congratulate you if you are still listening to this. It's because your commitment level to listening to this, to adding value to your life, your commitment level to being in this place is high. Commitment is critical. That's a state of being dedicated to a cause, to an activity, to an obligation. Any leader, and I mean any leader, who wants to go far must be committed. It's easy to drop the ball. It's easy to stop. It's easy to say, I'm not going to do it again. But you know what? If you are committed, then you keep going. The journey and the destination are all a part of our life. Which is more important to you? For me, I would say that the journey is more important than the destination, because it's the journey that determines the destination. But what do you need to go through the journey with the bumps, with the highs and the low? You need a sense of commitment. And that takes you being committed to duty, you being ready to accept constructive criticism and making amends along your path, you being ready to pay the price for success, not accepting any excuse and being committed to follow up, of course, it demands that you are focused. Committed people always give their best, and they always help people to be their best. Now, this is how far that we can go today on your leadership community, and I really want to appreciate you for listening. And I do hope that I added some value to you today. Yeah, that's because my name is Bisi Akande, and I just want to add value to you as we catch you again right here on this platform, your leadership community. Have a great day and be well.
This phase is not the end of the story. There is more to who you are than today reveals. You are not made for lowly heights, so raise the bar and be better. Explore new frontiers. I am cheering, waiting on the other side. Keep advancing. God has given all you need. There are people following the path you lead. Yeah, 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 oh yeah, yeah. Every day is just a gift to become a better you. Now is where your pages begin. Don't stop it. Tomorrow's great, hope you hear me. Don't you drown in the glory of yesterdays. Only if you can strive to be better, then you have a chance.